First crypto regulations are popping up at the EU. Wow, is the world ahead of the US? That article about China and their digital yuan, who's accepting that right now? And what does a judge say to Sam Bankman fraud? Again, the guy is just a scammer. We're going to find out what that happened today in OG Crypto and NFTs. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in the digital assets as well as non-fungible tokens or NFTs. Now, before we jump into it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, boom, boom. We want to give you the best 5 to 10 minutes in the crypto and NFT realm every single day. Let's jump right into it. This is Reuters. This is Britain's first crypto regulations to set robust standards. Wow. I'm excited because I'm seeing the EU come out and they're going to issue their standards for crypto regulations and crypto rules. They're on top of it. I'm liking to see that. We already know that pretty much a lot of Asia has already come out and have already approved crypto. We know China has their own regulations. The Japanese absolutely have them as well, and several different countries. But we're still waiting here in the United States. It is just a complete mess. You have one agency saying one thing, the other agency saying something else. You had the blue team who had both Congress and House of Reps, who had entire Congress, didn't care about it. They just cared about their own agenda. We're hoping to see something turn in the next 2 years. In fact, we're hoping to see something turn in this calendar year. But there's so much work to be done, so much crisis going on that I don't know if it will ever be brought up. The only thing that I'm really excited about that has to do with crypto regulations is what John Deaton did yesterday or 2 days ago in front of a judge in New Hampshire. He got the judge to pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, admit that secondary sales on the market are not considered securities. Now, that's a big plus for, Ripple and their SEC, but even more that I feel that really could help here is exchanges. They only sell secondary market. They're not participating in ICOs. So when Gary Gensler and the SEC go after those exchanges, now they have something to fight against because his own agency agreed that secondary sales are not security sales. Next. China has come out. They've had the digital yuan, but now look at this. It says 300,000 of our merchants accept the digital yuan. So they are going in and they're trying to get this countrywide acceptance of digital assets. I've always said, and I said this once, I'll say it 100 times, I think the WEF and China have come to an agreement here to, as long as they follow the WEF and what they want, they are now coming up and China's doing is becoming the guinea pig or doing the first stage of it. Why is China having a digital yuan when America hasn't even begun to think about a CBDC? That's ridiculous. They're already figuring out this is the future. We already know it's the future. We already know about it. It's just that we can't get everybody here on the same team to, in the same gathering to come up with regulation. Just start with something simple like stable coins. Come on, does Tether have it backed one by one? USDC just printed a ton of it. Here comes Binance printing a ton of their stable coins, which then turned around and you just turn around and buy Bitcoin and manipulate the market all the way up. It doesn't make any sense. Show us where the money is at and then what are they doing with the money? We need to know that. It's a simple 2-3 page regulation that's been sitting in front of Congress now for over a year, but they have their own agendas, what they want to do, with their money, give it to their special interests. It's all garbage. $1.7 trillion to nothing. It was garbage. Complete garbage spending. Nothing here has helped us. Nothing to do with the homeless, nothing to do with world hunger or even hunger here, nothing to do with the border, nothing, just needless spending. We need to be up to date on so much that we're falling behind. Chinese aren't. Their merchants are starting accepting it. Everyone's starting to get used to using it. This is a huge jump forward in the world. They're leading the world. We shouldn't be leading they shouldn't be leading. We should be leading the world. Next. Judge bans Sam Bankman fraud from contacting FTX employees and using signals. My God, I heard this like last week. Like he was like doing some tweets out there, like these cryptic messages back and forth. Help me, don't tell him about this. Don't tell him about that. Gosh damn. It's ridiculous. If he's doing this, why didn't the judge freaking put him in jail? Come on. Why isn't this guy in solitary confinement? He stole billions of depositor money. I mean, the new CEO said it. You know, crypto's been saying it a month before he even got caught. It's just ridiculous how slow justice is when it comes to some guy handing half of our politicians' money. Everything's on the slow track. Is there somebody out there that's going to be up front, that's going to lead this? I mean, come on. I mean, what politicians are out there screaming and yelling that this guy should be in jail? The tentative order was granted by the New York court on Wednesday after prosecutors asked the former FTX CEO's bail conditions to be amended. He should be revoked. There should be no bail. Revoke his bail. He's a bad criminal. He's a bad actor. Come on. Bernie Madoff was a bad actor. They threw him in jail. Come on. This guy's sitting here trying to still contact his people to make sure that they don't say the bad things. All right, next. Another bad actor, Celcius. It's taken a while, but crypto lender Celcius propped up its own token. Gary Gensler, where are you at? Why do all these exchanges and these, I call them yield farms, have their own token? It's out of thin air. They're making money off of. Why are you allowing this to happen? You allowed FTT token. When you met with Sam Bankman-Fried, you met with Celcius and they had these CT token. It's a bunch of crap. You're allowing this and then they're all using it for fraud purposes. But you still want to go in with the case with Ripple that has no fraud at all, that you've already said in another case that secondary sales, they didn't make up the coin. They didn't even have an ICO, but all these people did. And you continue to let them roll with it. You, Gary Gensler, are the problem. You've always been the problem. You are the puppet. You are absolutely the puppet for Mr. Chase, Jamie Dimon, Mr. JP Morgan. The puppet master is now pulling your strings. You, Kramer, and all the rest of the crap out there that have no clue what's going on with crypto. All right, off my high horse. Let's get down to it. Let's bring on the lovely.
Can I have your mouse, please?
Emmy, who's already demanding things from me.
Mine isn't working.
All right. She's having mouse issues.
There we go. Yeah, we're having some technical
difficulties. Oh my God. How close do I have to get to her?
I hope not that close.
She didn't shave today. That's why.
She shaved what?
Right here.
Okay.
This is not scripted, obviously.
Anyway, back to our topic. Hermes takes on Meta Birkin NFTs in trial. So we did report on this when it broke that Hermes was going to be suing. His name is Mason Rothschild because he created an NFT collection based off their very famous bag, the Birkin. So this trial did start in Manhattan this week. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes because essentially Mason is saying that he is able to use it's like his freedom to create, you know what I mean? But Hermes is trying to say, well, you infringed our copyright. Mm-hmm. So I think this will be kind of interesting to see how NFTs will go moving forward because essentially if the court was to rule that Mason Rothschild is able to have the Meta Birkin NFT collection, what's to stop me from creating something that's in the likeness of, let's say, a Louboutin shoe and calling it Meta Louboutin?
Yeah. Right. This is always going to be an issue until you get sued.
Yeah.
And when you get sued, it immediately, obviously lawyers are smart enough and say cease and desist, right? And then we can argue about it in
In court.
In court.
Yeah.
But it's tough to use someone intellectual property and then decide, hey, I'm just going to copy it, throw a word meta in front of it, and then deal with it.
If he would have called it not the Birkin, I think maybe he could have gotten away with it.
Right.
Even though it's so explicitly, obviously a Birkin style bag. But I think him calling it Meta Birkin is what's going to be the nail in his coffin.
No one would care if you called it Meta Birkin.
Yeah, or Birkit, anything. He could have changed the name.
But nobody would have cared.
Yeah.
He's there. This is about a money-making activity. He thought he can use their name, get away with it. They're too stupid because they're not in the metaverse. And he didn't realize that luxury brands they're literally rushing to the metaverse.
And I wonder how much of this lawsuit has to do with so many high-level fashion houses filing the trademark applications and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm really curious. But as we do know, Hermes is insanely rich. They have so much money to bury this. It's not even funny. So.
Right. And in fact, it's just someone trying to utilize a name for their own gain.
Yeah, definitely. They exploited the
So my issue is, if this is an issue, right? Going to court and getting, Hermes to run this guy out. What about all the sales he made? Now, they're probably going to get a percentage or more money from it. What about if you bought this in the respect that you thought it was a Birkin?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So again, it's buyer beware, because there is no SEC helping you here. There's no CFTC helping you here. There's nobody helping the small guy. This is all about the money and the money grab that people have in this space. And I can't say this much more, but it's do your own research. Make sure that if I'm buying a high-end NFT like this, that I absolutely go to the website, the original website that has nothing to do with the metaverse, and then link it back. So I go to Hermes, right?
Hermes, yeah.
Hermes, and then I go, all right, drop down. Oh, metaverse, click, click, click. Don't just go and say, well, I see it says Meta Birkin, so I automatically feel that as an Hermes product.
Yeah, definitely. And because the Hermes bags are so wildly exclusive as well as expensive, I wonder how much of that he was looking to use by creating a Meta Birkin. Maybe you can't afford to spend, a minimum of $10,000 on a stupid purse. So you decide to get a
high-end, classy purse.
They're great. As an investment, I get it. They appreciate faster than gold. Literally, I get it. But I think someone who is just the regular retail customer, like, it's not. Maybe they would say, "Hey, I can't afford a real Birkin, but I can afford that."
But a real Birkin is a real piece. This is an NFT, and I get that it might give you discounts down the future, or whatever the advantage of owning an NFT. Again, I keep going back to the same thing. I've been ripped off. I mean, anyone that's been dealing with NFTs have been ripped off. But if I think it's worth whatever the picture I'm receiving is worth, I just can't have any expectations of value in the future when I buy an NFT. Straight up. If I do that, I'm risking my investment. That's all I'm doing. This is what this is. What I just don't, which I've been kind of yelling and screaming on this channel, is that, if you look at any of the actions that an SEC or government oversight would, if they want to do anything about this, they never ever help the little guy. They're like a big IRS collector. They just sue. They sue the person, but the money never gets trickled down to the people that actually got burned. Do your own research. You have to be smarter than the thief, because the police aren't smart enough, or aren't going to be caring enough, for the police. The SEC isn't going to care that you got ripped off. They only care about suing these guys and collecting their money and not giving it back to the small guy, not trickling it back down. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm hoping that this all ends, and this guy, if this guy doesn't go to jail, then again he's just changed his name and he just does the same thing under somebody else, makes enough money until they sue him, he disappears, and rinse and repeat. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We definitely appreciate it. If you like anything we say, hit that like button. Otherwise, guys, we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.